Okay, that might have been the dumbest thing I've ever done, but, well, no, not even close. Well, not gonna believe this. We're in a little bit of a predicament. It's my fault riding the darn thing. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Colt. Thank you for joining me. We got kind of an emergency tree job today. It's Monday morning. We had some storms roll through this morning, so I'm starting a little bit later than what I normally would. I think we're like 9:45 or something, but we have this willow tree that is uprooted. Got rot at the base pretty heavily on it. And it is threatening this fence. This guy actually used to run a deer farm in here, so he's got these tall fences. He no longer does, but he likes maintaining the fence yet. We're quite literally over the river and through the woods here. I'll show you the pathway out when I walk out of here, but we're back in the woods quite a bit, and this is mainly just an ATV trail. I did bring the lift, which would be the best and safest means of doing this. What I'm thinking about doing is just back guying the log here on that side of the fence, and then probably doing some sort of a span rig to hold that log up between two trees here, and then I could just go up and piece the top out and work it down past. If we span rig between this tree, maybe that one if we could get to it, or worst case this little one might hold us up if we're span rigged, but most of the weight will be on that tree if we use it, so it might be best just to get one up into the union of this next larger tree. These are all ash, so they're dead anyway, but they might hold for this one last attempt. That way this thing will be pretty evenly balanced. I think I'm going to attempt to get the lift back in here. In worst case scenario, if I can't, then at least the truck will be that much closer to where I need to be, and we'll have to come up with plan B. So this is kind of the way out of here. I've been here before. Quite a large cottonwood here that was multi-stemmed. You can see I fell it. One stem that way, one stem this way, and then there was a large lead up over the fence here. And I just sent those tops into his pond, and we called it fish habitat. You can see this stump. This is a nightmare in through the fence. You can see I carved it out for him to get that fence up tight because this thing was pushing on the fence real hard. That was a giant tree, all rotted at the base. Okay, a little bit of a walk, but yeah, let's see what we can do. Like I said, worst case scenario, I know I can at least get the truck down to that corner. Making that tight bend is going to be the issue, but if I can get through that, then we're going to be good. Got the gate open, so let's have at her. done. Basket doesn't hit there. It's going to be close. We're hitting already. Dang it. So I'm going to have to lift that up just to get over this mound quick. See, this is where a spider lift would shine. Once we get here, I'm probably gonna have to come down with it now because, well, let's get through these spruce, I guess. Yeah, we're through the spruce. Might be able to push it up and over to the left. Yeah, might be what we have to do. I might have to go inspect that. I don't think it's happening going to the right here, you know. Let's take a look. Well, yeah, we got plenty of room this way. I could actually probably get the lift to here. It's going to be doable now. Of course, it's starting to rain now. That's nice. So I think we'll just start backing up now and see if we can't get to the tree. It's a little tight up here yet still, but that'll be okay. Okay, that might have been the dumbest thing I've ever done, but, well, no, not even close. We're in here, pretty safe and sound. I got the clutch hot on the truck though, so we're in decent position here. It'll be a trick getting out. At least once I'm going out, the homeowner should be here and hopefully he can give me a spot on out. Now it's done raining. So, all is well that ends well, right? Let's start by getting set up here. I know the outriggers, we're gonna have just enough room on the outriggers, and I got just enough room to turn around in here, but she's tight, so plenty of room. I'm honestly thinking I'm gonna cut this ash down just to get this out of my way. He doesn't care about me cutting on any of this stuff, so there's no reason to keep this here. actually just has to go down there. Make sure it goes down. Plenty to the ground. The issue is I'd love to tie it, you know, as I'm looking at it to the right or north of the fence, and then we could just let it down, but I don't think that's honestly going to happen. So I'd be better off tying it up here just for the leverage effect to make sure we stay weighted on the butt. I'd hate for the butt to pick up. I really need to be somewhere in here. So we might have to do 2 ropes in here eventually to shift the load over. I'm going to feel more comfortable with this out here. So in hindsight, a GRCS or similar system would have been the ticket on this job. I don't have one, probably should get one, or at least some means of tensioning a rope basically from the tree. A lot of times I'll use the winch on the truck, or we can pre-tension it with the tractor, but I don't have any of those options here. So I should look into getting something like that just to have in the truck. So yeah, I think we want to be tied in somewhere in here. Play it safe. I'd rather be down there, but I'd hate to be top heavy and have this thing roll over on us. There's a tree there. I gotta walk all the way back down to this gate to get in, and I'll walk all the way this way to get my porter wrap set up. So we'll have to do that at least one more time. At least we'll get it down for him. We've got big time storms rolling in tonight, so he was worried about this thing coming down on his fence. Here's that stump. We're gonna climb right over it. He's big. Sweat this out as much as we can. That's all I got. Okay, I like it. Back I go. We only got a couple branches to take off here until we're where we need to be, you know. Wedged in there right there. It's just resting down here. Rigging setup. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Basically at the point of seeing what happens here. It's in there pretty hard. I think what I'll do is I'll whittle back here, maybe try and leave it resting. I don't know how much twisting and spinning is going to happen, so here goes. At some point you just got to make the cut. Good, other than that piece landed on my lift. Still resting in here. So now I can get all this weight off. Okay, now to work this back, I did leave a little bit of a stub there that needs to rest on that. Okay, at this point we have to be butt heavy, so we're going to commit to this thing now. So at this point I've already installed another span rig system further down the trunk of this tree. So I'm just working on now taking the original one out so I can cut this log back past the fence. And so then you can see here that secondary system in place, ready to lower the log down once it's cut past the fence. Alright, all that's left is go and pop these knots out of these ropes and probably pack up and go. I think he's got a couple more trees he wants me to look at least while I'm here, but I think it's pushing noon, 1 o'clock by now. I haven't really looked at my phone. Okay, success. My camera died that was on my helmet, but I think we caught the gist of what took place here. It all worked well. We did have to sit down on that fence a little bit more than what I wanted to, just to slack off. But now you know my opinion on what I should have done to remedy that, being that I don't have a GRCS or anything here with me. Well, not gonna believe this, but yeah, I smoked my clutch on the truck. So we're in a little bit of a predicament. Backed up to here. Can't get it in gear. She keeps snubbing every time I try to get it in reverse, so I definitely smoked it getting in here. It's my fault riding the darn thing. So he's coming with his Bobcat. I'm hoping he has a spot where he can hook onto this truck and get me out of here. I don't know. We'll have to come up with a plan, but I will take you along for the ride. Why not, huh? Got the lift out. That was a little sketch. We ended up just needing to take it off. I put the tire down on the lift, and then we drug it to kind of a landing zone. And now he's tugging me with the truck. It should go just fine now. We're in the clear, thank God. Well, once we get over this hump, we'll be completely in the clear. Bit of a hump here. I do have brakes, thankfully. It was a good day other than this. So I did come back the next day, picked up my lift, and then a few days later, my buddy was nice enough to help me haul the truck out of there. So for all you GM proud guys, this one's for you. And thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you all in the next one.